Hey guys, Sword here, and this is going to be another vlog with Minecraft. And you have any questions, concerns, topics, discussions, or ideas you want to discuss in this comment section below, or send me a message, feel free to do so. And if I use your idea or a topic for the next video, I'll credit you within that video, and as well as that, I will link people to your channel as giving thanks for helping me out in the description. So what we have here is an Enderman while holding a block. Just being an Enderman. Is all I know is that I like Endermen actually. It's that when they're not deadly, they're kind of cool until you stare at them in the eyes, and then they're gonna go on an all-out rage and then just try to kill you. I have no idea why that happens, but apparently that's how they work. But other than that, they're just friendly. They're like one of the most friendliest mobs there are. Especially with slime, whenever you dice them up into the little tiny pieces, all they can do is just push you. But until they push you into lava or into another enemy, they're harmless. So, other than that, it's Steve. X98 is helping me out with the skylight still. We're still working on it. We've just been doing little by little, as well as that I've been playing other video games other than Minecraft because I like playing other video games other than Minecraft. I'm sorry if I don't want to spend too much of my attention on Operation Bedrock or any other thing. It's kind of understandable when you play a game for so long, you kind of get bored of it. So this is why I actually like to mix it up so I don't become bored with one game and then probably not go back to it. So I apologize if I'm not getting too much progress done. And of course then we have school, and yeah, it's just a huge mess. Well, today I want to talk about, if you ever have you ever heard this phrase before? Let me see my little notepad or whatever notes. If I was in that situation, I would do something different, or I would have done something different, or if I was that person, I would have done something different. Well, my response to that, as well as I figured it out in high school, no you wouldn't. If you were in that situation, you would probably be doing the exact same thing that they did. And you want to know why? It's because when we see the situation happen, we're not in the hot spot, if you want to call it that. We're not literally on the hot seat of being the person in that situation, especially in the movies or something like cartoons. That imagination is endless right there. But just a given situation, TV show, movie, even real life situations, if you've never been in that situation before, you probably would have done the same thing that the person in that situation did, and you probably would have gotten the same result. Is that it's all about experiences, and as well as the common sense of knowledge of what's going to go on at that point. I don't know how else to explain it. The only reason why I'm thinking about this topic today is because of my sociology teacher, go figure, actually talked about this in his class. And he had the same idea that I had. I've had the same idea for a long time and keep trying to tell people, because every time when I hear them talking about a movie and then it's like, oh, if I was that guy, I would have done this and this and this. And I'm like, of course you would, but I never really try to tell them that they're an idiot or something like that. My teacher, however, he would call people idiots all the time. It's his thing, and I like that classroom. It's so lively, and honestly, I could pay more attention to that class than any other of my classes in the past. But yes, we're not in that situation itself, so of course we would do something different. It's easier that we are bystanders looking at the situations than we are in that situation. And this is kind of like a bad example, but yet a good example. And I have not experienced this myself yet. Kind of, not so much, just not to the heavy situation, whatever you want to call it. But it's like looking at a car accident. It's easier when you're a person on a sidewalk witnessing a car accident happening in place than you are the driver of the person in that crash. So if you've ever been into a car accident, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a totally different experience, well, for obvious reasons, but if you're just a person looking at a car accident, it's so totally different from being in that car accident. So that's kind of one of the things that I had to learn. I've never been into a car accident. The only worst thing is I ever gone was into a fender bender, and it was not my fault. The car behind me just pretty much was confused with the clutch as well as the brake. So yeah, he was having that manual car, but still, he bumped into me, and my heart was all racing because I had no idea what to do, because I'd never been in that situation before. So I could proudly say that I've learned from that situation, and as well as I called 911 for the first time in my life of 18 or 19 years. I'm pretty sure I was 19 at the time. Oh well. All I know is that for the first 18 to 19 years of my life, I've ever actually had to call 911, and even then, the most nerve-wracking thing for me was to call 911, because you only have to call 911 for an emergency, and I was only calling it so that I could actually put in a little report. Because of course, if anything was going to happen to my truck, if something were to break or something like that, if I never reported it to begin with, then there's nothing much they can do, and this is going to be like he said, she said type of deal where they're saying, oh, this car broke down, but they never really reported it, so they could have done something else. So yes, I did call 911, and the cop came over here. I will tell you the story again. I know I told this before, but it's been a while since I've told this story. Is that all I know is that I was getting out of the shop, so because I got my engine oil changed. Not even 2 minutes out, I was in this intersection. I was going to get some more gas, and then the car right behind me hits me because he was having that manual car. I can't remember what type of car was it, but instead of the brake, he hit the clutch, and then there you go, he hit me. His car was pretty much made out of plastic. It's those plastic cheap cars, but it's kind of funny. But other than that, I called it in. I was nervous. I was very, very nervous. Ever since, I've never really called 911, and then the cops came, and they made a little report. Sorry if I'm stuttering a bit, but they made that little report, and they actually given me the choice to whether or not to give the guy a ticket for not yielding. I don't know what's the deal with that, but I decided not to, and because he already has to deal with the fact that he's still paying off for the car from his parents, and we didn't want to put a little bill or ticket price on him, especially when he has to explain this to his parents and then has to pay for the damages for his car. So yeah, I was being a good person that day, especially when I called in my dad to help me out in this one, because again, I've never been in that situation before. So now that I've gotten into that situation, I now know how to handle it. But like I said, it's nothing major, it's just a little fender bender, and there you go. So yes, the situation at hand, especially when you're watching movies. Have you ever seen the Saw movies, or even the Saw clips? You can watch them all over YouTube. You'll see in the comment section that a lot of people saying, oh, why didn't they do this, or I could have done that, or if they would have done this, or why didn't they do that? It kind of gets irritating to the point where it's like you just want to scream at them. You're not in that situation. You would have done something different because you know the exact results of it. A lot of people die in that movie. You would have died too if you were in that situation. But of course, they're going to be arrogant, ignorant. Both same meaning. It's like, oh, nope, I would have done something different. So, if I would have loved to put them in a Saw situation. Oh, well, I'm not going to kill them, of course. It's just like, it's a stimulation. If you fail, it's going to tell you, you died. That's all it's going to do. It's just not going to actually physically kill them, but still, I bet you a lot of people would have loved to put these guys in a Saw type situation, and if they would have failed, they would have been or it would be the stimulation of being killed. So that would have been really, really interesting to see. I want to see a series like that on television based off of Saw. You know, Saw is not going to end. I'm pretty sure it's not going to end because, of course, I'm not going to spoil it. Even though I've seen the end, I kind of spoiled it for myself, but I still want to see the movies because I never really get a chance to see them. Yep, I'm going off tangent, I'm going off topic, but that's how I am. I never go by script, and at least I have some notes. And all that notes is just what I've already talked about. So now I have nothing. So, good to know. And my puppy's asleep. Okay, good. So, yes, the situations. If you never experienced it for yourself, then you would have done something different. That's just a fact of life. People are going to say that I would have done this differently, and I'm always going to be that person saying, of course you would. You're just not in that situation. And I want to ask you guys, have you ever been in that type of situation or two situations actually. It's like you never experienced it for yourself, you saw it happen, and then all of a sudden it happened to you. If you have a story about that, please tell us. Unless if it's too personal or anything like that, I don't want to bring that upon you. But it's just minor things like someone being in an accident. It's always different when you're in that situation. Or if you see someone get into a fight, it's like, oh, if I was that person, I would have done this and this. I would have handled this differently. And then all of a sudden you get to a fight that was pretty much the same thing as you saw another person got into, and who knows? You probably may have handled it differently, or it just pretty much ended the same result as you witnessed it before. I don't know. It's just something to think about now. Pretty sure that a lot of people have thought about this, but who knows? Some people never actually thought about it before. This is what I like to do. I like to think about these things, and then I want to see if I can actually explain it well enough for other people to understand. That's a problem I kind of have, because every time when I want to talk about something, I'm just not able to talk about it. It's hard for me to actually talk about a topic when I'm just by myself and just talking to my computer, watching the little visuals going by. So of course it's going to be totally different from talking to a real person. I could tell you, I could probably think of a lot of topics to talk about if I'm actually talking to a real person, but so then I'm just talking to a screen. I'm so lonely. So yes, if you were able to answer that, feel free to do so. And if you want to make a video response, feel free to make a video response. I'm open to video responses. Just make sure it is about this topic. I don't want to get random video responses from things that are not related to this topic. So if you actually sent a video response in the past and I have not accepted, that's probably the reason why. So if you actually have something to say about this topic, feel free to make a video about it. But until then, that's all I have to say for now. And of course, for the last 20 seconds, you're going to see at the top, on the top right, it's going to be a video annotation, so that it will take you to a video where you can actually talk to other people who play Minecraft and play with them as well. Just make sure you actually hit the reply button on their messages so they'll know that you're talking to them. So if you want to play with other Minecrafters, rather for the Xbox, well, yeah, either Xbox or PC, make sure you check out that video. That's kind of like a community video that I did for everyone. But until then, I am SotoKeen090. Have a nice day, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.